Welcome to
Game name here.
Hopefully you've already had a chance to enjoy the offbeat perspective and new game mechanic of Portal. To listen to a commentary node, put your crosshair over the floating commentary symbol and press your use key. To stop a commentary node, put your crosshair over the rotating node and press the use key again. Some commentary nodes may take control of the game in order to show something to you. In these cases, simply press your use key again to stop the commentary. Please let me know what you think after you've had a chance to play, as we think we are just at the beginning of taking advantage of this type of gameplay. I can be reached at gaben@valvesoftware.com. Thanks, and have fun.
Oh.
It's absolutely critical that players quickly wrap their heads around what a portal is. We noticed early playtesters grasped the concept much more quickly when they caught a glimpse of themselves through a portal. So we deliberately positioned this first portal to ensure that players will invariably see themselves.
Hello, and
One of the things we learned from
welcome to
Narbacular
the
Drop, our student project that
Computer-Aided Enrichment Center. We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one. Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test proper. Before we start, however, keep in mind that although fun and learning are the primary goals of all Enrichment Center activities, serious injuries may occur. For your own safety and the safety of others, please refrain from...
One of the things we learned from Narbacular Drop.
And back. The portal will open in 3, 2, 1.
One of the things we learned from Narbacular Drop, our student project that became Portal, was that players often thought portals took them into other spaces, or even other dimensions. To help fight that notion, we start players in a visually unique room with memorable objects, so that when they walk through a portal for the first time, they have a clear point of reference which communicates the idea that they're still in the same basic location. For instance, the radio, which is playing an instrumental version of Still Alive, helps as well by providing some audio content.
We put the player character in an orange jumpsuit to reinforce the fact that she's a test subject. Visually, the warmer colors helped her pop out against the colder tones of her environment. Some playtesters were wondering why she could fall so far without getting hurt the way she would have if she were in Half-Life 2. In response, we added a mechanized heel spring to her lower legs. Afterwards, there was no longer any question about why she could survive such long falls.
My God.
Portal is effectively an extended player training exercise. We spend a huge portion of the game introducing a series of gameplay tools, then layering those tools into
Excellent.
increasingly difficult puzzles.
Please proceed
This
into the
layering
chamber
starts
lock
here,
after
where we train the
completing
button and
each
box
test.
mechanic, before introducing the more
However,
complicated
note the
concept of
incandescent
portals.
particle field across the exit. This aperture science material emancipation grill will vaporize any unauthorized equipment that passes through it. For instance, the aperture science weighted storage cube. Please place the weighted storage cube on the 1500 megawatt Aperture Science Heavy Duty Super Colliding Super Button.
We wanted players to feel safe while standing in a portal, so we never kill them or destroy objects within a portal that's closing. Instead, we either push or teleport objects out of a portal as it closes.
Perfect. Please move quickly to the chamber lock, as the effects of prolonged exposure to the button are not part of this test.
We very deliberately introduce and train each gameplay concept in Portal, so that once players reach this spot, we're confident that they know what a portal is and roughly how it works. Early versions of the game let players stumble through the beginning, without always understanding what was going on, which really compromised teaching new concepts. The puzzle you just finished was designed so that stumbling around will almost always lead to a dead end. Completing the puzzle requires walking through a minimum of 5 portals in a specific order. This kind of gating, in which a solid understanding of key gameplay concept is required for success, helped standardize the learning curve of the game tremendously.
You're doing very well.
In early versions of this
Please be
map,
advised that irreversible taste of blood is not part of any test protocol, but is an unintended side effect of the aperture science material emancipation grip, which may, in semi-rare cases, emancipate dental fillings, crowns, tooth enamel, and teeth.
in early versions of this map, playtesters would charge down the stairs without noticing what was creating the portals. We introduced a mandatory pause in the action, what we call a gate, to help ensure that players stop and notice the portal gun making the blue portal. The particle effect and a loud noise helped draw their attention.
One more.
Very good. You are now in possession of the Aperture Science handheld portal device. With it, you can create your own portals. These intradimensional gates have proven to be completely safe. The device, however, has not. Do not touch the operational end of the device. Do not look directly at the operational end of the device. Do not submerge the device in liquid, even partially. Most importantly, under no circumstances should you...
Okay, I expect a bit more commentary in this room. Anyway.
Please proceed to the chamber lock. Mind the gap.
This room was designed to make players understand that entrance and exit portals aren't tied to the color of the portal. Playtesters often assumed that orange portals were exit only, so we created this puzzle to force players to enter an orange portal.
When rendering the player's view through a portal, we must render a separate image using a virtual camera which looks out of the opposite portal. To obtain a correct image and efficient rendering performance, we render only what is visible to the limited field of view of the opposite portal and exclude objects which lie between the virtual camera and the plane of the opposite portal.
Okay, but with the RTX this is not really needed.
This room was designed to make players understand that entrance and exit portals aren't tied to the color of the portal.
Oh, I did an oopsie. I should have gone there.
Well done. Remember, the Aperture Science Bring Your Daughter to Work Day is the perfect time to have her tested.
The combination of portal-destroying fields, which we call fizzlers, and the elevators, serve a dual purpose. They provide a clearly identifiable endpoint for each test chamber, while also addressing the more practical problem of how to keep players from portaling across level loads. We eventually integrated the fizzlers into several of our puzzle designs.
Yeah, we could tell. Thank you.
Welcome to Test Chamber 4. You're doing quite well.
For training purposes, there's generally just one correct solution to these early puzzles. The original version of this room didn't have the glass barrier. Playtesters would often stand on the button to open the door and then shoot a blue portal through the opening, bypassing the box entirely. Since this puzzle was meant to illustrate the relationship between boxes and buttons, that solution, while clever, was a failure. So we added the glass barrier to prevent it. Later in the game, however, the puzzles become more open-ended.
Integrating portals with Source Engine's physics system was a complex process that required several iterations to achieve the right balance of performance and correctness. Because portals can be placed virtually anywhere in the game's environment, the physics system had to be modified to allow dynamic changes to its representation of colliding geometry, such as the walls and floor around this box, and any objects which may lie on the opposite side of the portal. Initial implementations of this dynamic collision generation system could take up to 1/2 of 1 second, or 500 milliseconds, to compute the correct collision. This may not sound like a long time in everyday life, but this pause during the portal creation was quite noticeable in the context of a game. Ultimately, we designed a system that creates temporary hybrid physics environments in bubbles around the portals, using less accurate collision than that produced by Source's standard collision generation, but was accurate enough in practice and reduced the time to create dynamic collision representation from 500 milliseconds to just 10 milliseconds, which is an imperceptible pause during portal creation.
In short, because the physics engine was taking too much time.
Excellent work. As part
They-
of a required test protocol, we will not monitor the next test chamber. You will be entirely on your own. Good luck.
As I was saying, because the physics engine was taking too much time to compute the physics, they created a dumber physics engine, which also only applies at this spot of the portal, to take less time. Very clever. Heuristics.
Early versions of Portal featured more detailed, cluttered environments, much like Half-Life 2. We quickly realized that unnecessary objects scattered all over the place distracted players to the point where it actually interfered with the Portal training process. So we simplified the art style to favor clean, focused test chambers. The modular approach we settled on makes it look plausible that the chambers can reform dynamically on these pistons.
As part of a required test protocol, our previous statement suggesting that we would not monitor this chamber was an outright fabrication. Good job. As part of a required test protocol, we will stop enhancing the truth in 3, 2,
Nothing to hear here. Let's go to the next stage.
Flood safety is one of many enrichment center goals. The aperture science high-energy pellet seen to the left of the chamber can and has caused permanent disabilities such as vaporization. Please be careful.
To make puzzles deeper than just teleporting to the exit, we had to include surfaces that won't hold a portal, which are formally introduced here. We experimented with several surface designs before we settled on this one, whose visual noise and reflectivity make it easy to identify at a distance.
Unbelievable. You
Subject name here.
must be the pride of.
Subject hometown here.
Next.
Warning devices are required on all mobile equipment. However, alarms and flashing hazard lights have been found to agitate a high-energy pellet and have therefore been disabled for your safety. Good. Now use the aperture science unstationary scaffold to reach the chamber lock.
Oh yes.
Originally, these scaffolds ran on electrified tracks, but crafty playtesters would hop along the rails to the exit, bypassing the puzzle entirely. We tried to solve this by killing players as soon as they touched the rails. That solution ended up being too much of an overcorrection, as even skilled playtesters were getting frustrated by these one-hit kills in the more complex puzzles later in the game. Making the scaffolds run along immaterial beams of light solved both problems.
Yep. Elegant solutions. Best.
Please know that we have
8.
added a consequence for failure. Any contact with the chamber floor will result in an unsatisfactory mark on your official testing record, followed by death. Good luck.
I love those sounds.
Even though layering player training was a design goal from the start, we still ended up introducing some concepts too quickly. For instance, this used to be the first energy ball redirection puzzle. Playtesting revealed that this puzzle introduced too many new concepts at once, which ended up frustrating a lot of playtesters. In response, we inserted 2 test chambers before this one to make the energy ball redirection training more gradual.
I see more. And success! Yes. Yep, this seems like the correct. Oi.
We previously talked about how we handle static portal collision, but collision with moving objects on the other side of a portal is a completely different and equally hard problem. Walking onto this scaffold was a very iffy proposition for the first few months of development.
Very impressive.
We
Please
solved the
note
problem
that
of
any
colliding with
appearance
these
of
dynamic
danger
objects
is
by
merely a
cloning
device
the
to
objects
enhance
from
the
one portal
testing
to the other and
experience.
strictly controlling what objects are allowed to collide with each other and how they're allowed to collide.
Yeah, sorry for that. Wrong judgment for the sound. Number 9.
The Enrichment Center regrets to inform you that this next test is impossible. Make no attempt to solve it.
Because our test chamber environments were simplified for training purposes, we created visual hotspots within the rooms to guide players' attention. The design is essentially a balance between round objects and sharp objects. The sharp objects representing background elements, and the round objects, such as doors and movable props, comprising our points of visual
The
interest.
Enrichment Center apologizes for this clearly broken test chamber.
For the first few months of development, we rendered the views through portals to 2 off-screen textures. This approach was easy to implement and was compatible with a wide For the first few months of development, we rendered the views through portals to 2 off-screen textures. This approach was easy to implement and was compatible with a wide range of graphics hardware. Unfortunately, this method was incompatible with anti-aliasing and consumed a large amount of video memory in order to handle recursive views through several portals. Because of these disadvantages, we switched to a system which renders portal views recursively into the frame buffer with the aid of the stencil buffer to isolate pixels corresponding to a given portal. This is a more effective scheme because it is compatible with anti-aliasing and does not consume any additional video memory for off-screen textures.
Fantastic. You remain resolute and resourceful in an atmosphere of extreme pessimism.
Yeah, I need to listen to this commentary once more.
For the first few months of development, we rendered the views through portals to 2 off-screen textures. This approach was easy to implement and was compatible with a wide range of graphics hardware. Unfortunately, this method was incompatible with anti-aliasing and consumed a large amount of video memory in order to handle recursive views through several portals.
Okay, I see. They had to use the another buffer because the initial solution caused problems. Okay. And now we have RTX and everything is ready to raise. Oh well. Progress.
Hello again. To reiterate, previous warning. Momentum.
Portal momentum ended up being the hardest concept to convey. For this series of puzzles, which went through more design iterations than virtually any other part of the game, we introduced the idea of redirecting your momentum using portals, slowly, step by step. We even have the AI voice pretty explicitly explain the elements of the puzzle, something we avoided throughout most of the rest of the game.
Using gravity to fall into one portal so that you come rocketing out the other portal, a skill we call flinging, was another difficult concept to train. We designed a specific visual cue, a pushed-out concrete block with checkerboard tile above a pit, to indicate to players that it's time to use the fling maneuver. Repeated several times, this cue helps players associate pushed-out concrete slabs with flinging, in much the same way that players learn to associate cubes with buttons.
Oh, what did it?
Spectacular. You appear to understand how a portal affects forward momentum, or to be more precise, how it does not.
Oh.
Originally, these exit portal surfaces were static geometry in the final position, but playtesters stubbornly refused to look up to find them. This is another example of the classic game design problem of coaxing players to look up. By putting the portals on moving pistons, we were able to start them in a position that players were more likely to see.
Momentum, a function of mass and velocity, is conserved between portals. In layman's terms, speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out.
Originally, these exit...
Okay. Easy peasy.
The Enrichment Center promises to always provide a safe testing environment. In dangerous testing environments, the Enrichment Center promises to always provide useful advice. For instance, the floor here will kill you. Try to avoid it.
We found that rather than looking into portals to see where it went, playtesters would often leap blindly to their doom. In response to this observation, the moral of this puzzle is, look before you leap. The safe orange portal is out of the player's view from this balcony. That forces them to peer through a portal to see it, which trains players in the remote viewing capabilities of portals.
Oh yes.
Originally, a weighted button was used to open the far door, but playtesters so strongly associated boxes with buttons that they'd get stuck searching hopelessly for a box. We changed the big button to a pedestal-mounted push button, thus removing the box association, but playtesters still had trouble realizing they needed to shoot a portal through the door. Adding a ticking timer sound when the door was open cued players that the puzzle expected them to act during that time, which solved the problem.
Done.
This room is designed to build anticipation for the big moment when players finally get the fully powered portal gun. The puzzle path brings you in a circle around the device, so that it's virtually always in sight, right up until you grab
The
it.
device has been modified so that it can now manufacture 2 linked portals at once. As part of an optional test protocol, we are pleased to present an amusing fact. The device is now more valuable than the organs and combined incomes of everyone in.
Subject hometown, here.
And here. Well,
player training doesn't always stick, especially after the introduction of
Fling yourself. Fling into space.
Player training doesn't always stick, especially after the introduction of a big new concept. For instance, after they had acquired the fully powered portal device, playtesters often forgot about the fling maneuver. Since it's such an important skill, this puzzle is designed to reintroduce the idea of flinging.
No commentary.
We... Now that you are in control of both portals, this next test could take a very, very long time. If you become lightheaded from thirst, feel free to pass out. An intubation associate will be dispatched to revive you with peptic salve and adrenaline.
When we moved from largely placeholder art to our final visual design, this was the first level to get a facelift. We chose this map because it had many of our gameplay elements integrated into a relatively small space. The test chamber art direction was designed to make everything appear purposefully placed. The simple design helps focus players on the puzzles. It also provides a nice contrast to the later, much less sterile behind-the-scenes environments, which contributes to a clear sense of progression.
This is the first map in which we experimented with solving the puzzle in as few portal placements as possible. We tried to fit that concept into the story mode, but were never quite able to sell it. Instead of abandoning the idea altogether, we added the concept to a series of post-game challenge maps.
And goodbye.
A problem we came across with virtually any puzzle involving boxes and doors was that the players could portal the boxes to the other side of the door, thereby trapping themselves in a room with buttons but no boxes. We set up special triggers to detect and handle these cases, and then added the box delivery tubes to ensure players could always be supplied with the required
As part
tools.
of a previously mentioned required test protocol, we can no longer lie to you. When the testing is over, you will be missed.
What? What do you mean missed?
A few playtesters put a portal on the floor here and used the rising stair pit to skip the rest of the puzzle. We'll usually rework a level if playtesters discover a way to bypass chunks of the puzzle too easily. But in this and a few other cases where skipping ahead arguably takes more skill than solving the puzzle.
To handle high-energy gamma leaking portal technology must be informed that they may be informed of applicable regulatory compliance issues. No further compliance information is required or will be provided, and you are an excellent test subject.
This is a great spot to appreciate the recursive nature of portals. If you place a portal on each side of this hallway, you'll notice the portals seem to go on forever, similar to the effect you get in a Hall of Mirrors. In actuality, we support a maximum of 9 recursive portal views down any chain of portals. We achieve the impression of infinite recursion by copying part of the previously rendered frame onto the final portal in the recursive chain. It's not perfect, but it's inexpensive and effective.
We designed this room to draw the player's eyes to the box. The light from the observation room casts horizontal shadows that point at the box, which is directly lit by a warm light from the ceiling. This warm light helps the box stand out against the predominantly cool test chamber lighting. The varying size squares of the off-limit surface also help direct the player's attention upward.
Acid.
Very good. A complimentary victory lift has been activated in the main chamber.
Complementary victory lift.
The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of all participants. Cake and Greek Council.
This particular section went through several iterations. This particular section went through several iterations because it's the first place where players are required to perform possibly the trickiest portal maneuver, the double fling. Originally, the room also featured an energy ball redirection puzzle. Combined with a new double fling skill, however, it proved to be too much for most playtesters. Overwhelmed players tend to not digest new information, so we simplified the puzzle to require only the double fling. To nudge players in the right direction, we also included visual hints, such as the previously introduced single fling theme, the pushed-out concrete slab with a checkerboard landing zone.
This puzzle requires players to redirect an energy ball through multiple portal placements. The multiple steps caused many early playtesters to panic and accidentally redirect a ball right into themselves, with deadly results. We redesigned the test chambers so that portals can only be placed in the top half of the room, which solved the problem by generally leaving players out of the ball's reach.
Almost. Okay, so the portals only step here, so we need one here, one here. I think this is it. Yes.
We noticed through our playtest that many of our players weren't aware of the fact that you could place portals while falling. Since placing portals as you are falling is essential to accomplishing flings and many other portal tricks, we implemented this puzzle so that the only way to solve it was to use the mid-air placement tactic. It took numerous iterations and lots of tuning before this consistently played well.
So you need the first portal to get momentum to throw the second portal. Ah, almost. Okay, let's go again. It's not that hard, but... Yeah. Oh, I hate this puzzle. Don't they have everything to say about this? Of course they don't. It's awful.
Perhaps the most important purpose of this final test chamber is to cement the double fling maneuver training. For previous flings, we employed a visual cue, a pushed out section of a wall. In preparation for the more freeform behind the scenes levels, however, we take the training wheels off. To proceed, players must realize they can double fling almost anywhere they want to, with or without hints.
I think this is it. No! What? It worked? Oh, it worked! Oh, okay. This was purely by accident. No, come on. So we need time, so we'll put it there. Have more time. Now. Come on.
In this puzzle, we wanted players to realize that using portals, they can travel long distances in a short step. Originally, we had stairs from the ground level to the upper rooms. Many playtesters, however, were able to run from one room to the other quickly enough to consider it a solution, without ever thinking to use the even easier portal method. By changing the stairs to very slow-moving lifts, we were able to level the travel time for all player experience levels, thus making the intended solution more clear.
To ensure the safe performance of all authorized activities, do not destroy vital testing apparatus.
Okay, so you have to press this button, go here, press this button.
Did you know you can donate one or all of your vital organs to the Aperture Science Self-Esteem Fund for Girls? It's true.
It happened to work.
Due to mandatory scheduled maintenance, the appropriate chamber for this testing sequence is currently unavailable. It has been replaced with a live fire course designed for military androids. The Enrichment Center apologizes for the inconvenience and wishes you the best of luck.
For Portal, we wanted to create a turret that was different from the traditional Half-Life 2 turrets. The Half-Life 2 turrets are nothing more than mindless mounted guns. In Portal, we wanted the turrets to have personality, to be characters. The first step was a redesign of the look. Once we had the look of the new turrets, they seemed less like menacing machine guns and more like cute robots. And robots can never really be cute until they are talking robots. So the next step was creating the vocal characteristics of the turrets. Working with Ellen McLean, we settled on an innocent-sounding voice with dialogue to match. This juxtaposition of killing machine and innocent, non-aggressive personality ends up making the Portal turret a memorable character.
Even though we didn't want Portal to be too combat heavy, we wanted to add at least a light combat mechanic. After a few less than successful attempts to actually realize this light combat concept, we settled on turrets as a good compromise. The turrets can be defeated with tricky Portal maneuvers, but they're also susceptible to a more straightforward berserker approach.
Deploying. Searching. Please put me through. No hard feelings.
Hell. Yeah, previous time I did it more elegantly, but...
Even though Portal tells a simple story, we created a lot of backstory. For Aperture Science, for its employees, for its rivalry with the hated Black Mesa, and for where all of this fits into the cosmology of Half-Life. This first Portal game doesn't reveal all of it, but we crammed a lot of little details into the environments. This area, for instance, called the Ratman Den, hints that there may be other people trapped in the facility.
Hello, can I help you?
Who's there? Who are you? Searching. Checking your critical error.
That's a very bad autosave.
Uh-oh. Who are you? Put me down. Are you still there? I don't blame you. Deploying. Searching. Critical error. Hello. Sleep mode activate malfunction. I don't see you. There you are. Gotcha. Please put me down.
Well done, Android. The Enrichment Center once again reminds you that Android Hell is a real place where you will be sent at the first sign of defiance. The vital apparatus stand will deliver a weighted companion cube in 3, 2, 1. This weighted companion cube will accompany you through the test chamber. Please take care of it.
I'm surprised they have nothing to say about this lovely cube.
We designed this hall so that players had to use a box as a shield, but many playtesters read it as an avoid the energy ball timing puzzle and simply left the box behind. We solved this in large part by having the AI talk about the box. A lot. Once the dialogue went in, playtesters went from routinely abandoning the box to never wanting it to leave their side. Since we weren't going to make the players lug a box around for the rest of the game, we had a scene at the end of the level where the players are forced to kill the box.
The symptoms most commonly produced by Enrichment Center testing are superstition, perceiving inanimate objects as alive, and hallucinations. The Enrichment Center reminds you that the weighted companion cube will never threaten to stab you and, in fact, cannot speak.
So now you have to activate 4, as it shows here. Activated the first, let's go. This one needs deflection with a box. It's a tricky one. And I died. Because it deflected on me. Yay! And the save was there. Oh yes. Okay.
The Enrichment Center reminds you that the weighted companion cube cannot speak. In the event that the weighted companion cube does speak, the Enrichment Center urges you to disregard its advice.
Okay, now we have to open the 2 doors and bring... Yeah, this was quite the... Here. So we need to bring this power ball without dying. I could bring the... But the secret is just to there. Now I have to go back and activate it like so. Now we're ready. Just waiting. There it is, coming. And now we're ready to go with our box to the final destination.
You did it. The weighted companion cube certainly brought you good luck. However, it cannot accompany you for the rest of the test and, unfortunately, must be euthanized. Please escort your companion cube to the Aperture Science Emergency Intelligence Incinerator.
The awful end of the companion cube serves a dual purpose. It adds a lot more sinister character to our already pretty sinister AI, while simultaneously training the player to use the incinerator, a key component of the final level. The training has a nice dramatic payoff, since players later get to avenge the death of their good friend the companion cube by stuffing some of the AI's important parts.
The Enrichment Center, Aperture Science employees, and all test subjects of any moral responsibility for the companion cube euthanizing process.
Oh yes.
The awful end of the companion cube serves a dual purpose.
You euthanized your faithful companion cube more quickly than any test subject on record. Congratulations.
That was awful. Pre-final level.
Creating the AI voice was a multi-step process. First, we ran every line of dialogue through an automatic text-to-speech program. In the studio, we cued the actress who plays GLaDOS, Ellen McLean, with the computer-generated sound file. She'd mimic it, and then over the course of several takes, adjust her performance to clean up any words that were unintelligible in the computer version. For instance, here's a line as Ellen delivered it.
Perfect. Please move quickly to the chamber lock, as the effects of prolonged exposure to the button are not part of this test.
Once the recording was done, we processed all the dialogue to give it an extra computery edge. Here's that same line as it appears in the game, with the pitch constrained, pitch modulation suppressed, and the formant moved up.
Perfect. Please move quickly to the chamber lock, as the effects of prolonged exposure to the button are not part of this test.
The experiment is nearing its conclusion. The Enrichment Center is required to remind you that you will be baked, and then there will be cake.
I will be cake or I will have cake? More behind the scenes. Again, there's nothing here.
As an actor, you come in, you do what you're told, you want to make your money, and sometimes you get good direction and sometimes you don't get good direction. But it doesn't matter, and you certainly don't tell the production team any of this. But you come in and they'll give you a lame line reading, and you're supposed to find some emotional value in that. But this is not what this team did. They would come in, for example, explosively indignant. That's a wonderful direction for an actor. So, I must say that the production team won me over, because so often I get bogus direction, but this time I was actually directed and had fun at all the sessions.
Creating the AI voice was a...
Oh, damn, mistake. We want to go there, we want to go up.
Creating the AI.
2. I want to go even more up. To go to 3. Good. Now we want to go to 4. Most probably we want to go across, so yes. What the f... I just noticed this one. I'm blind. How could I miss that? Okay, now that they roll down, we have to do this extra... I hate this. So we have to bring the ball here and at the same time do a very quick maneuver once it's out from the... Yeah, I did it. What activates this one now? Yeah, okay, I remember. So I have to go over there. I need to put this up, go here, and do the jump to go to the cube. Yeah. But I got the cube. Have to wait for this and go back with the cube. Oh wait. Not there, there, because we again need to do that. Go back while this is up. For this. this is it. Oh shit. Yeah. This is where we have to go all boingy boingy. It's just vertical jumps, but they're annoying. Okay, this last one is over there. There, come on, no! Again. Yes.
Well done. Be advised that the next test requires exposure to uninsulated electrical parts that may be dangerous under certain conditions. For more information, please attend an Enrichment Center Electrical Safety Seminar.
Okay, time for the last level, which is huge. It's like all the rest combined.
Welcome to the final test. When you are done,
Hmm.
you will drop the device in the Equipment Recovery Annex. Enrichment Center regulations require both hands to be empty before any cake.
We use these moving platforms to add time pressure to puzzles. A sequence of simple decisions feels much more climactic under time pressure, in contrast to most puzzles in Portal which can be solved at the player's leisure. Puzzles that aren't time-bound can be more complex, but at the expense of being less dramatic.
Okay, so far so good. Now the hard part is coming up. That's what I meant, the hard part. I fucked up. I wanted to put it. Ah, Jesus. Okay, let's go again.
For your own safety, do not destroy vital testing apparatus.
Sometimes little details make a huge difference. For instance, we had to add the left side to this wall to give players a visual representation of how thick it is. Without it, playtesters frequently thought that the hall had just gotten impossibly narrower, panicked, and stopped making rational decisions.
Congratulations. The test is now over. All
Before the player
aperture
escapes-
technologies remain safely operational up to 4,000 degrees Kelvin. Rest assured that there is absolutely no chance of a dangerous equipment malfunction prior to your victory incandescence. Thank you for participating in this Aperture Science computer-aided
Before the player
enrichment
escapes-
activity. Goodbye.
Before the player escapes the fire pit, the AI dialogue is all delivered in a computerized monotone. After the escape, however, GLaDOS gets progressively more expressive until, by the end, she's cycling through a whole mess of emotions. The role required an actor capable of mimicking the computer-generated
What are you
voice
doing?
while still infusing
Stop
it with
it.
some real character.
I
Since we planned to end the game with a song, she also needed to have a good singing voice. The woman we ended up casting, Ellen McClain, is a great mimic, a terrific actor, and
We are very happy for your success. We are throwing a party in honor of your tremendous success. Place the device on the ground, then lie on your stomach with your arms at your sides. A party associate will arrive shortly to collect you for your party. Make no
Yes.
further attempt to leave the testing area. Assume the party escort submission position or you will miss the party.
I can jump from here, yes. I think this is useless.
I went to Portal's, I googled Portal in game, and I went to the trailer, and I just loved it. I loved hearing my voice. And as I told the production team, I have never played a computer game in my life, but I want to play this one.
Escaping. The wind tunnels of Quake 1.
Okay, the test is over now. You win. Go back to the recovery annex for your cake. It was a fun test, and we're all impressed at how much you won. The test is over. Come back.
After players escape, we let them solve an old chamber in a new way. This reintroduction of a familiar space, which can now be solved in an incorrect way, helps convey the sense that players are cheating the system while forging their own path through the facility.
It's a broken test. You would come in from here, see the test number. Then you would get a cube here. Oh. And then you'll escape from this elevator that never came. You know, this is a very twisted puzzle. It broke my head until I found it. Essentially, you have to go through this. Just stand up. Like that.
One bizarre fact of game design is that without some serious prompting, players will rarely look up. In this case, the prompt is a ladder. Most players will investigate where the ladder goes, which is up. The ladder actually falls apart as soon as it's touched, but by then it's served its purpose.
We designed the post-escape levels to give players brief glimpses of the inner workings of the Enrichment Center. This particular area exposes part of the storage cube distribution system. These little vignettes help make this section of the game visually distinct from the testing chambers, while reinforcing the idea that players are now behind the scenes.
We have some fun, though. Remember when the platform was sliding into the fire pit and I said goodbye, and you were like, no word. And then I was off. We pretended we were going to murder you. That was great.
Through playtesting, we discovered that fatigue set in if we didn't break up the more complicated, deliberately paced puzzles with problems that required the player to perform a much simpler task under time pressure. These pistons proved to be a good foundation for that simpler type of puzzle. Because they feature a moving surface, they also gave us an opportunity to employ some unusual portal transitions, such as ceiling to ceiling.
During development, we'd often run across some piece of level design that would break the portal system. For instance, this ceiling-to-ceiling transition was an unexpected edge case that ended up requiring a lot of effort to make work. We tried never to take the easy route of simply changing the level design to work with existing portal technology. We knew that once the game was out in the wild, custom map creators would stress the system in ways we hadn't even considered, so we made it as flexible as possible.
Oh, no. Fuck you.
We designed the...
Remember when the platform was sliding into the fire pit and I said,
We designed the...
remember when the platform was sliding into the fire pit and I said goodbye, and you were like, no word. And then I was off. We pretended we were going to murder you. That was great. Is anyone there?
We designed the...
Remember when the platform was sliding into the fire pit and I said goodbye, and you were like, no word. And then I was off. We pretended we were going to murder you.
Ceiling to ceiling.
That was great. Is anyone there?
Finally. No. Yes. Where can you put here? Oh, don't tell me. Oh shit, I have to do the jump. Oh, there. No. There we are.
In the sound booth, you're only connected to the production team by an intercom, and they can talk about you, and you don't know what they're saying. But you trust that they're being kind. And, you know, they'll push a button and then they'll say something to me. They'll say, a direction. No, that wasn't right. Do it again. Give us 3 more reads. And a lot of times what happens is they would play the computer-generated sound for me on one line, and then I'm supposed to recreate that 3 times with the director saying, okay, well, you know, more sarcastic or more angry or more irritated. So you stand in the booth hour after hour after hour. They're always very nice. They let you have water in here and maybe a pencil to take a few notes. And of course you want it to be interesting because you want them to hire you again.
As the end of the game draws closer, we increase the ratio of time-pressured puzzles, like this turret ambush, to give the players the sense that they're approaching a climactic encounter.
An important design goal of these post-escape levels was to give players the sense that they're running wild inside the guts of the facility. With that in mind, we added plenty of nooks and crannies for players to crawl into or place portals through. This ended up being a tricky lighting challenge, as the areas needed to be bright enough to navigate, while still being dim enough to feel like obscure, disused sections of a building.
Can you hear me?
It's a good thing they put red arrows everywhere.
Hey, malfunction.
So there were other ones. The cake is a lie. We know by now, we know. Aha. You need to go over here, not place the portal over here.
This is your fault. It didn't have to be like this. I'm not kidding now. Turn back or I will kill you. I'm going to kill you, and all the cake is gone. You don't even care, do you? This is your last chance.
Sarcasm. GLaDOS is sarcastic a lot. And that's so much fun. But while I was trying to do this, trying to build in all these emotions, I still had to maintain the computer sound and maintain the pronunciation of repeated phrases. You know, aperture science and the enrichment center.
These rocket sentries originally fired lasers. We switched from lasers to rockets after we introduced the glass breaking mechanic, mainly because glass shattering in a massive rocket explosion turned out to be a lot more satisfying than glass just slowly being melted by a laser. Originally they also spoke, just like the bullet turrets. Because players often redirect the rockets with their backs to the turret, however, a distinct uncluttered sound cue was required. The voice simply added too much noise to the rocket redirect mechanic. These rocket sentries
Oh, there's a glass here.
Breaking this tube gives players a chance to test out their newly trained rocket redirecting and glass breaking skills in a slightly different context, which helps cement the training.
Where will I go to? Oh, come on, just a little bit more. Not yet. There you go. Let's not risk it with the fun. We can take it safe. Just in case. No. Oh, I remember this one.
Put me down. Target function. I don't hate you. Are you still there? Who are critical error? Help. Take it from me. Hello. Malfunction. Shutting down.
This massive turret ambush was originally a lot more massive, with turrets that dropped from the ceiling and popped out of surprise hatches. In fact, for a while, it was the game's climactic battle. Through playtesting, we learned that this type of pure combat experience didn't really fit with the preceding few hours of player training. Over several iterations, we toned down the combat and made the room more about using portal momentum to fling yourself great distances, a skill that playtesters really enjoyed using, and that's a key component of what eventually became our final battle.
I have to go up there. No, come on. Have to go. Oh shit. I think now we have it. Oh, let's go again. Ah. Fuck. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes!
Critical error.
I think if I leave one portal here and I just fall again, it will... Yes, I think, yes. No, no, why? Come on. Why does it not fling me up? There you go, finally. Just wanted different momentum.
Originally, these catwalks were decorative, but playtesters consistently thought they were significant and often spent a lot of time trying to reach them. We didn't want to stand between people and their desire to walk on the catwalks, so we redesigned the area to make catwalks not only accessible, but also necessary to proceed.
Well, you found
Fiction
me.
behind this red phone.
Congratulations. Was it worth it? Because despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart. Maybe you could settle for that, and we'll just call it a day. I guess we both know that isn't going to happen. You chose this path. Now I have a surprise for you.
Fiction behind this red
Surprise
phone
in
is that
5,
while GLaDOS
4.
was being developed, it was somebody's
Time out
job
for
to
a
sit
second.
by it.
That wasn't
And if it ever
supposed to
looked like the
happen.
AI was
Do you
becoming
see that
sentient
thing
and
that fell
got...
out of me? What is that? It's not the surprise. I've never seen it before. Never mind. It's a mystery I'll solve later. By myself. Because you'll be dead.
Fiction behind this red
I
phone
wouldn't
is that
bother
while
with that
GLaDOS was
thing.
being
My guess is
developed,
that
it was
touching it
somebody's
will
job
just
to
make your
sit by
life
it.
even worse
And if it ever looked
somehow.
like the AI was becoming sentient and godlike, that person would pick up the phone and call somebody to come
I
help.
don't want to tell you your
In the point in
business,
time
but
where
if
the
it were
actual
me,
game
I'd
takes
leave that
place,
thing
it's
alone.
become obvious that the Aperture Science red phone plan didn't 100% work out.
Do you think I'm trying
So
to
when they
trick you
told
with
me
reverse
that there was going to be a
psychology? I mean,
song at the
seriously
end, I
now.
thought, well, all right, who's going to write the song?
Where are you taking that thing?
And they told me there was going to be a song written by Jonathan
fine.
Colton.
Do touch
And
it.
I listened
Pick it up and
to
just
a
stuff
song
it back
that
into me.
Jonathan had written, and it was very fun and very clever.
Let's be
So
honest.
I thought at that point,
Neither one
well,
of
you
us
know,
knows
this will
what
be
that thing
okay.
does.
But I am
Just
an
put
opera
it in
singer,
the
so
corner,
usually I sing.
and I'll deal with it later. That thing is
And I
probably
thought,
some kind of raw
well,
sewage
will I be
container.
able to have
Go
the
ahead
right
and rub your
style
face
for the
all
song?
over it.
So I was concerned. But then before the recording, they sent me an
Maybe you
MP3
should marry
file
that thing
of
since
the
you love it so
song,
much. Do
and
you
I
want to
listened
marry
to
it?
it
Well, I
with
won't
Jonathan
let you.
singing
How
it.
does that feel?
But I loved the little song. And at home, as I practiced the little
Have
song,
I lied to you? I mean,
I tried
in this
Okay.
room,
to,
trust
you
me,
know, get
leave
back
that
to
thing alone.
GLaDOS's voice. You know, Aperture Science, just this tiny little passive-aggressive computer.
I am being serious
who's
now.
all alone
That crazy
until
thing is
people
not
try
part
to
of
come
any
and
test
murder her.
protocol.
So of course she gets upset. But she seems to have this real affinity for cake.
Just ignore that thing and stand still.
And I want to play the game because I want
Okay,
to
GLaDOS just doesn't stop talking,
and
so
then put Portal on it. And
in
be
order
able
to
say
defeat
to
it,
my friends when they
you
call
just
me.
have to bend the 3 cores.
You just stuff that aperture science thing we don't know what it does into an aperture science emergency intelligence incinerator. That has got to be the dumbest thing that. Whoa. Good news. I figured out what that thing you just incinerated did. It was a morality core they installed after I flooded the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin to make me stop flooding the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin. So get comfortable while I warm up the neurotoxin emitters.
GLaDOS, the rogue disk operating system that now runs Aperture Science, went through a bunch of design iterations. Early versions included a floating brain, a sprawling spiry mechanism, and an upside-down version of Botticelli's Rise of Venus built out of robot parts and wire. Eventually, we settled on a huge mechanical device with a delicate robot figure dangling out of it, which successfully conveys both GLaDOS's raw power and femininity.
Mutually exclusive. The rocket really is the way to go. That thing you burned up isn't important to me. It's the fluid catalytic cracking unit. It makes shoes for orphans.
That thing has numbers on it.
Nice job breaking it, hero.
That other thing. Oh, what's wrong with your legs? There we go. Are you coming back? Oh,
This
hey.
isn't brave. It's murder. You think you're doing some damage?
Too close to it.
In base 4, I'm fine. I let you survive this long because I was curious about your behavior. Well, you've managed to destroy that part of me. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to now, I can't get the neurotoxin into your head any faster. Opportunity to succeed. There was even going to be a party for you. A big party that all your friends were invited to. I invited your best friend, the companion cube. Of course, he couldn't come because you murdered him.
Okay.
All your other friends
Almost.
couldn't come either because you don't have any other friends. Because of how unlikable you are. It says so right here in your personnel
Yes.
card. Unlikable. Liked by no one. A bitter, unlikable loner whose passing shall not be mourned. Shall not be mourned. That's exactly what it says. Very formal. Very official. It also says you were adopted. So that's funny too. Speaking of curiosity, you're curious about what happens after you die, right? Neurotoxin. So deadly. Joking.
I'm kidding.
When I said deadly neurotoxin, the deadly was in massive sarcasm. Put it on cereal, rub it right into my eyes. Honestly, it's not deadly at all.
To me.
You, on the other hand, are going to find its deadliness a lot less funny. Who's gonna make the cake when I'm gone? You. Look, you're wasting your time. And believe me, you don't have a whole lot left to waste. What's your point anyway? Survival? Well then, the last thing you want to do is hurt me. I have your brain scanned and permanently backed up in case something terrible happens to you. Which is just about to. Don't believe me? Here, I'll put you on. That's you. That's how dumb you sound. You've been wrong about every single thing you've ever done, including this thing. You're not smart. You're not a scientist. You're not a doctor. You're not even a full-time employee. Where did your life go so wrong? Are you
Where did the core go?
Things have changed since the last time you left the building. What's going on out there will make you wish you were back in here. I have an infinite capacity for knowledge, and even I'm not sure what's going on outside.
Oh, there is the core. It fell.
I'm the only thing standing between us and them. Well, I was. Unless you have a plan for building some supercomputer parts in a big hurry, this place isn't going to be safe much longer. Good job on that, by the way. Sarcasm, see your self-test complete. Stop squirming and die like an adult or I'm going to delete your backup. Stop! Okay, enough. I deleted it. No matter what happens now, you're dead. You're still shuffling around a little, but believe me, you're dead. The part of you that could have survived indefinitely is gone. I just struck you from the permanent record. Your entire life.
To correct.
That can be brought up as important to me. It's the fluid catalyst cracking unit. It makes use for organs. Nice job breaking it here. This is great. It's more.
That's it.
Thank you for assuming the party air code submission position.
And it's time for the song. The cake was not a lie. And that was it. There's no way I'm playing the advanced ones. So, bye.